Hello. Hi. Welcome to the very first episode of Fairy Vision, our very own magical TV station just for you. Each week here on Fairy Vision, we are going to learn about something new and just how magical the world around us and we are. Today, we are going to talk about the magic of Mother Nature. We're going to get our hands dirty and we're going to dig into the magic that Mother Nature gives to all of us and everyone from around the world. Now, do you actually know what nature is? Well, let me tell you. Nature, in a simple way, is things like plants, animals, mountains, oceans, stars, the moon, rivers, creeks, anything that has not been made by an actual person is what we like to call Mother Nature. You could maybe think of dirt as Mother Nature, insects are Mother Nature, volcanoes are Mother Nature, waterfalls are Mother Nature. Can you think of anything? Can you think of anything that you might know is Mother Nature? Something that has not been made by an actual person, something that is just out in the world naturally? What do you think? Great one. Good thinking, everyone. I just thought of another one. What about flowers? Flowers are also Mother Nature too. We're going to talk about animals and insects and how that's a whole other world of nature that doesn't need a person or a human being to look after it because it looks after itself. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Now, Mother Nature is so clever that she has a way of looking after herself so that she lasts for thousands and thousands of years. There are some trees to be known that are over 1,000 years old. Have a look at this one. Now, the only time Mother Nature doesn't work is when people interfere with her. That means when people decide that they want to change how Mother Nature works. It could be cutting down the trees so they can build houses and buildings, or use the wood to make things. It could also be when some animals from the wild are caught and put in zoos so that people can go and see them. Mother Nature is also affected by all the things that we do in our homes and in our cities that might make Mother Nature sick and not grow like she should. That's why we need to be careful what we use in our homes to help to keep Mother Nature nice and healthy so she can last for thousands and thousands more years. Things like not using too much plastic, not using too much water, being very careful around your home as what we call being sustainable. Now, the best thing that we can do is just sit back and watch and learn from Mother Nature. And if Mother Nature needs our help, then we can step in and help out. We can learn things like, how do things grow? What does Mother Nature need to grow? What do trees need to grow? What do animals need to grow? Have you ever wondered how a tree just grows in the middle of the forest? All those thousands of trees? I know. I've got a very interesting fact to tell you. You know, trees need a lot of sunshine to grow, as well as water, which comes from the rain. That's right. And trees take lots and lots of special yummy nutrients and vitamins from underneath the ground. Trees have roots that go deep, deep into our earth. And the roots act like straws. And they suck up all the yummy nutrients and special vitamins that a tree needs to grow, as well as the water that comes through our earth. And then rain comes down and also waters our trees, and the branches and the tree trunks grow taller and taller. It's like they're reaching for the sun. In fact, they are reaching for the sun. Have you noticed that some trees in the forest grow really, really tall and skinny? Have you ever looked up at a very tall, skinny tree? or there might be lots and lots of them all together in this part of the forest. It's like the tips of the tops of the trees are fighting and racing who's going to reach the sun first. Or maybe first. Or maybe you've seen a tree in a park somewhere that's got only grass all around it. And this tree has a big fat trunk and lots of big branches, and the branches extend outwards and upwards. And this one's a very wide and big tree which creates lots of wonderful shade for you to party or play under. Well, that tree doesn't have to fight with other trees to get the sun, you see. It's the only one in the middle of the park, so it's going to grow nice and big and wide. Isn't that interesting? Wild animals also can get their own food, and that is how they survive and grow. Think of the African jungle and imagine what those animals need to survive. They don't need people to help them grow, do they? Because it's in their nature. They live in the perfect place that's suited just for them. We call that a habitat. Animals know what other types of animals they can hunt and live on, and they also know what plants they can eat. Have you ever seen a giraffe stretch its neck all the way to the top of a tree to munch on the leaves? Munch, 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 munch. That's how clever they are. Lots of wild plants and flowers, like the trees in the forests and the jungles, all grow by themselves with the help of Mother Nature. Imagine lots and lots of stringy roots growing beneath the ground, underneath the earth, underneath the soil, all intertwining. And all the trees learn and grow from each other. So, why don't you become fairy explorers with me? And next time you go for a walk, look around and have a look and see how Mother Nature works, how Mother Nature grows. What could you find out about Mother Nature on your next walk? That was me, walking barefoot out in the forest. Sometimes you take off your socks and shoes and you feel the earth underneath your feet, and you can really imagine yourself being right in there, in nature, and feel yourself what it would be like to be an animal or an insect living right in the deep heart of the forest. Could you imagine yourself if you were a lion? Where would you go hunting for your food? Or if you were a tall giraffe, would you go for the tallest parts of the tree to have your lunch? Or you could be a teeny tiny little insect and scurry through the grass, just like this. Mother Nature also is our ocean and the seas and all the magical creatures that live under the ocean, and the fish and the dolphins and the whales and the starfish and all the beautiful plants that grow from beneath our ocean. Do you ever wonder what it would be like to be a mermaid and then be able to swim through the deepest, darkest, most magical parts of our ocean and visit Mother Nature down there as well? Again, if human beings did not interfere too much with our oceans and made sure that they were always clean, that just means we don't throw rubbish in the street and we keep things nice and tidy out in our streets so they don't go into our drains and end up into our oceans. They can hurt the sea life if we're not careful. Have you ever been to an aquarium and seen the most magnificent colours of all the beautiful fish? Here are some fish for you to look at right now. Have you ever wondered about mountains and volcanoes and how they appear in Mother Nature? Well, a volcano is just a mountain that gets really hot right down in the bottom of the mountain, right down in the Earth's core. And that magma starts to grow and rise as it gets hotter and hotter. And those of you who are volcano scientists will know that once that happens, it comes all the way to the top of the volcano and explodes. And then we see the lava coming out the other side. In one of our future weeks, we are going to learn how to make these wonderful lava lamps. Have a look at this. That looks like lava. So we can recreate Mother Nature in our very own home and learn about how Mother Nature works. Now, just as I've been saying, Mother Nature has been so clever to look after herself for thousands and thousands of years and doesn't need our help. Mother Nature needs us to care for her and look after her and make sure that she can keep growing. And to help us learn a little bit more about remembering Mother Nature, here's a story. Get yourself in a warm, comfy spot, grab your blankie, and I'm going to read to you a beautiful story about remembering Mother Nature.
Hi, I'm Fairy Mary, and this is my very first story published by Ethical Books, a beautiful publishing company dedicated to sharing world issues with children in beautiful, magical stories and books. Poetry, adventures, absolutely beautiful. Just sharing with the children world environmental issues in ways that they can understand and relate to, so that we can expand the awareness and really spread the love and look after our planet and our Earth. Today I'm going to read a book to you called Remembering Mother Nature by one of the founders of Ethical Books, Stuart French. And there's Mother Nature right there on the cover. There was once an old lady called Mother Nature. She lived in the mountains and she swam in the streams, and she brewed all the colours that I saw in my dreams. She was tall and wide and had trees for her thighs, and she listened and listened to the skies and the tide. She could jump between mountains and turn waterfalls into fountains, and she could swim in the sea much deeper than me. She could run faster than leopards and protect sheep like shepherds, and yet she cried like the tide as the planet died by her side. She pleaded to the people to not litter the seas, and she asked them kindly to not fell the trees. She looks a bit scared and worried, doesn't she? Same as the animals. She shielded the animals from the hunters and thieves, and she begged them to leave the whales in the seas. She is protecting them all. She soaked up the sun as its burning begun, and she tried and tried as her home slowly died. But then you came running up by her side. Good girl. Let's save the planet, you cried, as the animals cheered far and wide, and the trees stood up taller, side by side. Let's clean the oceans, you roared, knowing you'd never be bored, for the planet is a home where all creatures roam. Oh, she's even under the ocean. Come on and join me, you beamed, remembering the colours from your dreams, and that the earth is even more special than it seems. My favourite, a rainbow. I love rainbows. And that was the story of you and your glory. So up you should grow, and boldly you'll glow. For if you love the planet, Mother Nature will know. That is a beautiful story. What a beautiful story about looking after our planet and our animals. And it's going to be saved by you, all the boys and girls.
Well, thank you for watching our very first episode of Fairy Vision, your very own magical fairy channel. I'll see you again next week with our next episode of Fairy Vision. In the meantime, fairy explorers, keep on learning, and I'll see you again soon. I wish you well.